pretty close last season in the Star Times Uganda Premier League. Number 2, Vipers. Number 3, URA. And this season, they renew their chances at going for the top prize. The prize of being the top of the pile at the end of the season. It's Vipers versus URA. But even those that will be watching on. URA have been a bit flimsy in their perspective of looking for points. But Vipers have been almost flawless in their campaign so far. The big question is, who of the two folds today? My name is Jermaine Agessa. I am your commentator tonight. John Vianensimbe joins me in the commentary booth for what promises to be a real fireworks of a game.
Oh, certainly, and you feel that there's got to be a lot of pressure on both these sides, but more importantly, for this URA side, it's time for them to prove that. Yeah, I know.
All right, ball brought in, headed away, smacks the upright. Very nearly there, Milton Karisa nearly caught everybody napping, including us here in the commentary booth. Rose very high, smacked that ball. Was only helped out there at his team URA. Were only helped by the crossbar rattling there. I think it's still vibrating.
Oh, yes, and that's a warning. Of course, the fact that it is still vibrating, that's a warning to URA that they need to wake up from their slumber. If you could see that.
And here comes a touch, 1-2. Shafiq Kuchi Kajimu getting it up front here to Mukwala. Kajimu. Mukwala gets the return ball. Mukwala battling Paul Wheeler. Mukwala drifts his way. Mukwala into the box area. Mukwala chips the ball in, and the goal is in. Stephen Dashi Mukwala does all the damage, and Joachim Ojera invited to a party that he just could not turn down an invitation. Gets the lead for URA, but how is that for a one-man wrecking machine? Mukwala picking it up from where he left it off against Toro United, and he seems to ask, what more would you expect? 17 minutes, Paul Wheeler is not amused, but he can hardly blame anyone. He failed to keep his man at bay. Mukwala picked up a return ball after orchestrating the attack, ran the marshal of the defense, skipped his way into the goal area, flicked the ball into the area, and two defenders were left laying in waste when Joachim Ojera put the ball into the back of the net.
That was a fine finish there by Joachim Ojera, but the run by Mukwala, you know, that kind of willing runner, he just battled on even when he was being clipped on the heels, and I feel that that's the kind of spirit that URA have had to show, and they finally got out of.
Again, the man pulling the strings in the midfield, Serui Day, just over the bar.
Suddenly you can see the belief in this URA side. It started a bit lukewarm at the beginning of this game, but now after getting that goal, they seem to have had a spring in their step, and they are really playing like a team with every confidence and every intent to carry.
Spawned in kind. Ball floated in and just goes wide. Beautiful brush off. And the flag was already up for offside, but again, another very strong warning. And quite nearly the captain almost brought his team back into play. But URA, you've been called out once, you've been warned twice. The set pieces might be your undoing.
Yeah, and I think that that's something that the coach there...
Karisa takes too much time to let the ball settle, and it's easily blocked away. Deshi, Mukwala, the hitman, racing forward now. Drifts away from one, getting into another, passes the midfield. Mukwala taking on another player. He's going on a one-man run.
And I think he needs to raise his game.
The ball comes through, drifting in, and I think it's Cheyune definitely for this one. Cheyune bends it, but not quite. A good attempt.
Yeah, that was a good try. Just that it did have the required dip when it needed to. It just kept rising, and by the time it started dipping, it had already gone over the crossbar.
Decent technique there. And tall, stride on, because your time is now. And you definitely need to enjoy the official beer brand of the Star Times Uganda Premier League. Appeals for a penalty here. The referee waves it away, definitely making sure that there will be no contentious issues for him to answer. Well, of course, even by avoiding them, you already caused contention.
Yeah,
Ball came through. Well, it's a bit hard to see from this angle.
it's really hard. Yeah, we couldn't really tell whether.
URA have taken the lead and look pretty rock solid at the back. And there's just no breaking them down. And here they come once again, looking to cause more damage up front. Through pass, player brought down. Mukwala into the box area. And was that standing in that wall there? They opt to play it short, and Saidi Chayune went for a super shot there. Real stinger that had venom dripping all over it. Saidi Chayune nearly caught them ball watching. Ooh, that was traveling. That was really traveling. One of the few players that knows how to strike up here. And now lobbed into the box area. Cesar Manzoki looking for the back header. And a nice stand from Babosi! Good stuff. Babosi with a beautiful semi-volley. Picked up the ball in mid-air, turned on the spot, and launched a shot in here. That was one beautiful one. Unfortunately, just not on target.
Oh yeah, that was great technique there from Bob Moral Busi's team.
No day off.
Yeah, exactly, and that's not something that you've seen from the team itself.
Gianni Sekajugo threads the ball in, looking for a chance in. The ball is dropped here and runs into the back of the net. A lapse in concentration, a failure, a shortcoming at performing his duty. The day off that we've been talking about seconds earlier befalls Fabian Mutombora, and URA were just waiting, lurking, praying, and ultimately they strike. URA double the tally. Vipers looking a shade of blue and a tinge of white in here for Fabian Mutombora, who for a minute seems not to understand what exactly befell them. Good run it was. Ball slashed in by Ashraf Mandela. He comes in, picks up the ball, and then drops it. Uncharacteristic. Cromwell Rothomio says, thank you very much. 2 in the bag, and we're still collecting the tax.
Oh yes, that was a very well-weighted cross there by Ashraf Mandela. But you believe that the goalkeeper, Fabian Mutombora, should have taken that one easily. I don't think there was any harm coming from that cross. He switched off. He just didn't get the glass behind that ball very well. But what instinct that was shown there by, of course, Cromwell Rothomio, picking up the rebound and banging it.
Pass, and now to David Bagole, instantly getting it onto Aziz Kayondo. The desert wind, and a good header there from Cesar Lobby Manzoki. His third name there pretty similar to...
Yet at the beginning of the season, he was third choice after Alitho was signed. Now, Alitho is on sitting on the bench, and Sebalunyo is on starting ahead of him, and he's done a pretty good job.
Aziz Kayondo trying to get in your living room, making sure that you are staying at the top of your game. Chance coming up here, but the ball just goes wide.
Yeah, it was a good attempt there by Paul Muchurezi. But just earlier on, watching that replay, it was a bit suspicious on whether Stephen Mukwala had been fouled. There was a bit of suspicion that could have been...
So we are set to hit the 90th minute mark. And Shafiq Kajimu sets it in. Vianney Sekajugo teases it up. Kajimu blows it away. Decent attempt. And that probably would have been the chance for the URA fans to pick a cup. Says that is all there will be at the end of the 90 minutes. The tax collectors woke up in the morning with one intent reason. That was to stride into the St. Mary's Stadium in Chitende, find the Venoms wanting, and tax them for it. The captain, Shafiq Kajimu, wasn't really able to go ahead and get that goal, but Stephen Deshi Mukwala, without getting onto the score sheet, still being a real menace in the game, set up the first goal with a brilliant run to let Joachim Ojera poke it into the back of the net. And then Ashraf Mandela followed similar sort, closed the ball in, and when the opportunity from a blunder from the goalkeeper, Fabian Mutombora, fell his way, Cromwell Rothomio made no mistake, put it to the back of the net. Joachim Ojera, who opened up the scoring here, will be pretty satisfied with his performance there. His compatriot, Cromwell Rothomio, ascends on the goal scorer sheet today with another goal. For the Venoms, they have been brought back to earth. Their unbeaten run has been brought to a close today. The gap between them and the table leaders, KCC, has been widened. It's been an afternoon for them to forget. Full time at the Vipers St. Mary's Stadium in Chitende. It is Vipers 0, URA 2.